everyone, it's me, the Flying Gamer here, today with another episode. And yes, this is my real voice. Now today, as you can see on my screen, on your screen, we have the entire map of the railway. Yeah, pretty cool. Anyway, I will now go through each bit of the railway bit by bit. So to start off, we will cover the green line, the Greenwood Main Line, which is this one here. If you can see my mouse. Wait. According to the header code, it is typically 1 Golf 35 or 1 Golf 46. I'll explain the head code system in another video. The way it works is trains start at Beachwan, move through East Greenwood, West Greenwood, through the Wellston Junction, past New Laurentis, East Fordham, before terminating at South Hill Central and typically returning. Sometimes though, services may want to use this special track down here. Now this is due to one specific reason. Basically, this track became unusable, not for use when they built this section of the railway here. But once they extended it to Coco Canopy, by the way, this is the underground fast loop. Once they extended it to Coco Canopy here, this section, it took a long time for waiting for train. So they decided to open up what's known as now the A pattern. It's a stopping pattern which allows services to continue from South Hill Central to Beachwan and then just continue on that loop. Or sometimes head back. So yeah, that's that one. We also have another stopping pattern. All of this will be explained in another episode, by the way. The B stopping pattern, which terminates or starts at New Laurentis. Basically what it does, it moves from Beachwan, past East Greenwood, West Greenwood, before terminating here and going back. This is typically for trains who that need to get repaired, or to make sure that there's enough Wolver River line services. Also, I'll just quickly go through the color system. So the green line is the Greenwood Main Line. The red line, this one, is the Wolver River line. The blue line is the Dresden Fast Line. And the yellow line is the Highlands line. The orange line is known as the Underground Fast Loop. And the teal line is known as the Elizabeth line. Anyway, back to the lines. So now you have got the Wolver River line. This one starts at Beachwan, goes to East Greenwood, West Greenwood, stops at Wellston, goes to Wolver River, stops at Frisian Temple, and then terminates Trinity Sands Pier and turns around. So for this one, we have a few stopping patterns. I'll explain them in a later video, but if I just show you. So we have the C pattern. The C pattern means that the services just goes like this all the way down, but terminates here. Now the reason this is at night, Trinity Sands Pier is actually closed because of especially in high weather conditions. For example, when there's storm, since the aforementioned pier part of it. The next pattern is the D pattern. This means the service just goes back and forth and doesn't go through the junction here. And the final pattern for the Wolver River line is the E pattern, which means it starts here, goes all the way down, terminates here, and goes back up. So yeah, that's all. Okay, the next line I'm going to cover is the Dresden Fast Line. This line is a lot more simpler. It is an express system. Basically, it starts at Frisian Temple, moves to Wellston, then moves to Dresden, terminating at Dresden, or turning around and heading back to Frisian Temple the same way. It has two stopping patterns. The first one is the F pattern, which means that there's an extra stop here. And the last one is the G pattern, which is now pretty much obsolete. I won't go through that one now. The next pattern, the next line is the Forden upper line, which starts South Hill Central, makes its way down past East Forden, West Forden, Dresden, Fort Halvin, and terminates at Coca Canopy, then turns around and heads back. This one's a relatively simple, straight line. It has one stopping pattern, which is the H pattern. This means it starts at South Hill Central, moves down, but terminates at Dresden and turns around and heads back. This is because Port Halvin and Coca Canopy are both underground, so in case they don't want to send too many trains down into the tunnels, they can make those terminate at Dresden. The next line we're going to cover is the Highlands line. Starts at South Hill Central, moves up to North Hills, and then terminates at Coventry Panda Station. That station was nearby one of my friends, actually. Anyway, this service has one stopping pattern known as the I pattern. Basically, it means that the service bypasses North Hills and goes directly to Coventry Panda Station. Relatively simple line, though a little key bit of information. This section between Concrete Panda Station and North Hills is actually single tracked, which will be explained in a later video probably. The next one is the Orange Line, which is the underground fast loop. This is the fastest line on the entire of the railway. Starts at Bichuan, goes to South Hill Central, then Coca Canopy, and back. Relatively simple, self-explanatory line. Little known fact, it does not have proper signaling because it's underground. And to make it really fast, it instead has CBTC, which is like an automated style signaling, where it just stops trains from going too close to each other. And finally, we have the Teal line, which is known as the Elizabeth line. Starts at Lantern Airport, the exit, passes at the entry, at Frisian Temple. It enters a tunnel actually, goes past Wolf River, and at Wellston it will be at an underground platform. Then it goes through a tunnel, unlike as the map states, but it actually goes straight through here, and goes directly to South Hill Central, terminating there, and then probably heading back. This one has a few patterns. It has the K pattern, which allows for an additional stop at New Laurentius. This means that the service does not enter the tunnel, but instead just goes on the main tracks. This is typically to help drivers with route memorization. Then we have the L pattern, which makes it terminates at Frisian Temple. Basically, the service just goes back and forth like that, and doesn't go to the airport section over here. And here. And finally, we have the M pattern. Basically, it's just a train that just goes back and forth like that, and doesn't continue all the way to South Hill Central. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, guys, leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed the video.